In the intricate network of life, woven with human bonds and changing circumstances, Stoic wisdom offers us a compass to proceed with serenity. This journey teaches us the value of detachment, not as a denial of affection or the importance of others, but as a path to inner freedom, a lifeline in emotional storms. Through examples and lessons drawn from Greek mythology, we will explore how detachment can be cultivated as a virtue, not only to protect our emotional balance, but to live a life full of meaning, courage, and wisdom. Imagine yourself on an ancient Greek trireme, sailing the vast sea of life. Each person or situation is like a current or a breeze that can influence your journey. Stoic philosophy, as taught by mythical figures such as Athena, goddess of wisdom, and Hercules, symbol of strength and courage, provides us with tools to adjust our sails, consciously choosing when to let ourselves be carried and when to distance ourselves to maintain our course towards our personal Ithaca. Like Ulysses on the island of Circe, we learn the importance of distancing ourselves to maintain the integrity of our spirit. In this myth, Ulysses resists the temptation to lose his human essence, a powerful call to the necessity of preserving our identity and values in the face of external seductions. This moment of inner reflection allows us to listen to our most authentic voice, the one often drowned out by the noise of the external world. It is a time dedicated to recognizing our deepest desires, our ambitions, and our fears, filtering out what is imposed by society to find our personal truth. In the silence of our mind, away from daily chaos, we can finally hear the whisper of our intuition, that internal guide that knows what path is best for us. This practice is not an act of isolation, but a ritual of self-knowledge, a foundation on which to build a life that truly reflects who we are, not who the world wants us to be. Inner reflection is, therefore, the first crucial step in the process of detachment. It is not an escape, but a search for an anchor in the storm of emotions and circumstances. Just like Ulysses, who with cunning and inner strength manages to free himself from Circe's spell, we too can find the strength to resist modern sirens that seek to draw us away from our essence. This is the time to sincerely question our relationships and situations, to discern what nourishes our soul from what empties it, to make courageous choices that reflect our true desires. Through inner reflection, we learn to distill wisdom from noise, to make space in our life only for what is truly worthy of our time and energy. This first step prepares us to continue the rest of our journey with clarity, determination, and a renewed sense of purpose, armed with deep knowledge of ourselves as a compass to navigate the vast sea of existence. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, inspires us to exercise discernment and courage in our relational choices. Just as she selects her path in the woods and her companions, we must learn to carefully choose who we let into our lives. This selection process is not driven by fear or isolation, but by the search for relationships that reflect our most authentic values and allow us to grow. In this context, detachment manifests in the ability to say no to bonds that drain us or distance us from our essence. It is an act of self-affirmation, a declaration of emotional independence that affirms our right to be surrounded by people who enrich us, who share our vision of life, or at least respect our journey. The lesson from Artemis also teaches us the importance of self-sufficiency, recognizing that our happiness and well-being should not depend solely on others. This does not mean that we must face life alone, but that we must build relationships on foundations of reciprocity, respect, and shared growth, rather than dependence or convenience. Choosing consciously the people in our life takes time and reflection, an honest examination of our feelings and our experiences with others. Like Artemis, who walks with confident steps through the paths of the forest, we too can move with confidence through the thicket of human relations, armed with the wisdom to recognize who deserves to walk at our side. Through this process of conscious selection, we approach the realization of a life that not only reflects who we truly are, but also allows us to evolve towards the most complete and authentic version of ourselves. Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategy, illuminates the way of active listening and reflective communication. Her teaching urges us to seek dialogue as a bridge towards mutual understanding, an essential foundation for authentic and lasting relationships. In this process, Listening becomes an art form, a demonstration of respect and care towards the other, allowing us to grasp not only the expressed words, but also the unspoken feelings and intentions. Athena guides us to use dialogue not as a tool to impose our vision, but to explore together solutions and shared paths. This practice requires patience, open-mindedness, and the ability to put oneself in the other's shoes, recognizing that each individual carries with them a universe of unique and valid experiences. In the act of communicating, we are invited to temper the impulse to respond impulsively, making space instead for a meditated response that fully considers the context and emotions of the interlocutor. This approach not only enriches our relationships but also helps us grow personally, expanding our capacity for understanding and empathy. Athena's example shows us that, through authentic communication, we can build solid bridges between people, overcoming misunderstandings and differences. It is an invitation to cultivate listening as the basis for constructive dialogue, which nurtures mutual trust and fosters a climate of harmony and respect. In this way, we can face challenges together, finding solutions that reflect collective wisdom rather than the limited vision of the individual. Apollo, god of light and truth, teaches us the importance of moderation in our emotions. His figure symbolizes the balance between heart and mind, a balance that allows us to face emotional storms with serenity and wisdom. In this journey towards emotional detachment, Apollo guides us to recognize and welcome our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Managing emotions, according to Apollo, does not mean repressing or denying what we feel, but rather learning to face these waves with awareness and control. This process begins with acceptance, recognizing the presence of an emotion, giving it a name, and accepting it as part of our human experience. Subsequently, with moderation as our ally, we can explore the deep causes of our emotional reactions, distinguishing between what we can change and what we must accept. In this context, Apollo invites us to cultivate emotional resilience, the ability to face challenges and disappointments without losing our integrity or our balance. Through the practice of reflection and meditation, we can learn to scale down our reactions, finding space for calm and rationality, even in the most turbulent moments. By adopting Apollo's moderation in our daily lives, not only do we improve our relationships with others, avoiding unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings, but we also enrich our inner life, building a sanctuary of peace and clarity that no external storm can easily erode. Prometheus, a titanic figure in Greek mythology, who dared challenge divine authority for the benefit of humanity, offers us an enlightening example on the importance of foreseeing the consequences of our actions. His gift of fire to humans, a symbol of knowledge and progress, was driven by noble intentions, but also led to severe repercussions, highlighting the intrinsic complexity of every significant choice. This act of defiance and its consequences invite us to a broader reflection on our own decision-making processes, especially when considering detachment from people, situations, or habits. Detachment, although often necessary for our well-being and personal growth, must be carefully weighed, evaluating the short and long-term impacts on our life and on others. Prometheus teaches us that every action has its price and its consequences, some of which can extend well beyond our immediate field of perception. Before making significant choices, it is therefore essential to exercise critical thinking and deep empathy, trying to anticipate the possible chains of events that might arise from our decisions. It is an invitation to examine our motivations, to consider alternatives, and to reflect on the possible emotional, relational, and practical repercussions. Moreover, Prometheus's story reminds us of the importance of altruism and personal sacrifice for the common good. In evaluating the consequences of our actions, we should therefore consider not only our individual well-being, but also the potential impact on the social and relational fabric that surrounds us. By incorporating this wisdom into our decision-making process, we can aspire to make more conscious and compassionate choices, reflecting not only our personal desires and needs, but also a deep respect for collective well-being. The reflection on Prometheus guides us towards a more thoughtful and responsible existence, where each choice is illuminated by the consideration of its shockwaves in the world around us. In an era dominated by technology, taking a break represents a revolutionary act of self-preservation, similar to the wisdom of Prometheus who, with the gift of fire, taught us the importance of control over our creations. This pause allows us to reconnect with our inner core, detaching from the digital distractions that often obscure our vision and dilute our energy. It is a moment to regain clarity, renew our focus on true priorities, and recharge our spirit so that we can face daily challenges with renewed strength and wisdom. Heracles, the Greek hero known for his 12 labors, embodies the pursuit of self-sufficiency through trials that test the body, mind, and spirit. This point teaches us the importance of focusing on our fundamental needs, a concept that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy. Identifying and meeting these essential needs, whether they are physical, emotional, or spiritual, is crucial for building a balanced and content life. Heracles' self-sufficiency invites us to examine our lives and ask ourselves what is truly necessary for our well-being. In a world that often measures success in terms of accumulation and appearance, this step reminds us to measure wealth not by what we own, but by our ability to live authentically and satisfied with less. By focusing on fundamental needs, we learn to distinguish between superficial desires and true necessities, a process that not only simplifies our existence, but also frees us from unnecessary sources of stress and dissatisfaction. In this way, Heracles guides us towards the realization of inner strength that allows us to face any challenge with courage and determination, reminding us that true strength comes from self-knowledge and the ability to live in harmony with our deepest principles. We close this journey through Stoic wisdom and the heroic deeds of Greek mythology with a renewed sense of purpose and authenticity. The lessons learned equip us to face life with resilience, intentionality, and a deep understanding of our true needs and desires. This journey of conscious detachment invites us to seek a life rich in meaning, enriching relationships, and inner peace, following in the footsteps of the heroes who paved the way before us. With Stoic wisdom as our guide, we are ready to live with courage, wisdom, and virtue, celebrating each day as a step towards the realization of our true selves. If you have found value in this journey through ancient wisdom and wish to continue exploring with us, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so as not to miss the next contents. Your presence and participation make this exploration even richer and deeper. Together we can discover how the lessons of the past can illuminate our path in the present.